What's up, squad? This is Alec of Team APS hitting y'all with my first solo video. I've got my top 10 favorite zombie monsters of all time. Well, excluding Vendreads because they're new, so they're not on the list. But these are my favorite from back in the day to today, and I'm just gonna jump right into it. Number 1 is Red Eye Zombie Dragon. You might remember him from that old structure deck. I can't remember the name of it anymore. It was a Zombie Madness, something like that. But he was our first real zombie boss monster. Though it was kind of an effect because he required you to have Zombie World, because if he destroyed a zombie monster by battle, he could special summon it. And that was kind of the beginning of the zombie monsters coming back from the grave. And it took a lot of setup and it wasn't very practical, but it was cool because being a fan of Red Eyes, and then I like zombie monsters, so made him himself a zombie. It was a cool concept. I wish there was more with it. I want to make my next choice Vampire Lord. Now, I guess this is more of just a nostalgia pick because Vampire Lord's stats they're not really impressive, and he takes a sacrifice, so you're not really trying to sacrifice for him. But he had the bleed effect. When he does damage, send something from the deck to the grave. And when he died, I think by a card effect, he came back. So, and that was kind of a start to the vampires we have today. And it kind of set some precedents for future zombies for being, for the recur. And, I don't know, just a generally cool looking monster. Castlevania reference, and I'm a big fan. So next up I have Zombie Master. Now that's one you're probably all very familiar with, since he's one of the, or she, I've heard some conflicting testimony on what Zombie Master actually is, but Zombie Master was one of the first really popular zombies and it would really strong effect. You pitch a monster from hand, special summon a zombie, and that led for plenty of combos. Because of Zombie World, you could make just about anything you want into a zombie, so Zombie Master could pick up virtually any monster. As long as they were, my bad. And not to mention, Zombie Master had respectable stats at 1800 as a level 4 monster, so it was accessible. And, aesthetically, I found Zombie Master to be pretty pleasing as, Necromancer. Reminded me of, Faust from Shaman King, if you remember that. Next on the list is Mizuki. Now, the reason Mizuki is not actually I'm not going to claim Mizuki as being one of my really high on my favorites list. Mostly because Mizuki isn't really a zombie. Yeah, I know he's a zombie monster card. He special summons zombies from the grave. But Mizuki, lore-wise, is more of a gatekeeper of the underworld, not actually a zombie. And that's disappointing for me because I'm a really big fan of zombies, zombie movies, zombie TV shows, zombie everything. So Mizuki's like a love-hate thing with me. Now we'll get into another not really a zombie card. Shiranui Solitaire has to be on the list because of just how powerful it is for zombies. But Solitaire is more of a ghost. And I don't really like my zombies to be pretty, I don't think zombies should have that much makeup on. That's just me. Not hating on anybody, but that's just me. Though I do kind of like Shiranui in that they remind me of, Shaman King. He should kind of remind you of, a Midamaru, Yo's sword, put the soul into the sword, all that jazz. So that reminded me of something like from my childhood. That's why he made the list. Next up, Plague Spreader Zombie. Well, if you ever played a zombie synchro deck, well, then you had to play Plague Spreader. Plague Spreader's on this list, one, because it's how useful he was back in the day, and he could still be useful today, depending on if you want to run him or not. But mostly because he's just so disgusting. He is a ball of all kinds of random things just kind of stitched together or just kind of fit together. I don't know what Plague Spreader is, but that, my friend, is a true zombie. Next up, I have Shooting Gogi, another kind of a lore-based card. Shooting Doji is more of a Japanese mythology character. But Shooting Doji was really cool because it was, I think, the first zombie to give you any type of draw power. Banish 2 zombies from the grave, draw 1 card. Shooting Doji, back in the day, Shooting Doji had all kinds of, a few combos that made it a pretty powerful card. But lately, it's just hard to justify it when there's so many other things you might want to do with your zombies in the grave. But potentially, Shooting Doji's not dead. And it's pretty cool artwork, so. Now, next up is Goblin Zombie, a personal favorite of mine, even really one of my favorites. But even though I really don't know what Goblin Zombie is, looks more like a ghoul, kind of like Shadow Ghoul or Wall Shadow, looks more like that. But Goblin Zombie, back in the old zombie synchro days, he got sent to grave, he searched out a zombie. Pretty straightforward, helped with the consistency. He helped you keep keep your hand and sometimes feel presence. Sometimes you just need it to float and you could just kind of set your Goblin Zombie there, get a card, make a play next turn. I'm a very big fan. Oh, not to mention, in case you want to be cheeky and you just want to, hit your opponent for some damage, Goblin Zombie also made your opponent, what was it, mill a card from the top of the deck? Something like that. But yeah, it's just an extra effect to a monster that already had a decent little purpose. Now we have Ill Blood. Man, do I love Ill Blood. So a lot of people say Ill Blood's creepy. Yes, he is. Ill Blood's very creepy. I love every moment of it. Ill Blood was also, pretty powerful back, in the slower Yu-Gi-Oh days where Gemini monsters were allowed to get that normal summon in. Because, potentially, he's really powerful. Can special summon a zombie from grave. There's no cost to it. He can only do it once per turn, but there's really no cost. So if you can pull him off, he's great. And even today, I honestly believe if we had a more consistent way of summoning Ill Blood would be it'll be a staple in zombie decks, being a level 6 zombie. And just beautiful. Too bad Plague Spitter's seen better days. And finally, and you can all guess who it is. I didn't mention him, but Unizombie. Why? Because he's 3-legged zombie. Why? Because he's actually a zombie. Unlike most of the things on this list, it's not a ghoul, it's not a demon, it's not a gatekeeper, it is actually a zombie. It's 2 zombies in one, which I just think is really, really cool. The fact that it's 2 zombies kind of working together. Now, does that have anything to do with the effect? No. The effect is purely to make it a good card, and it is a good card. So my number 1 is Unizombie. Now, I did say I was leaving out Vendread, so I'll say honorable mention, Revenge Red Slayer. We don't have a whole lot of lore on the guy, but he looks like Spawn, and that's cool. And zombie rituals, I'm behind that 100%. That's really all I got for you guys today. These are my top 10 favorite zombie monsters of all time. If you like the video, give it a like. My bad again. If you like the video, give it a like. If you dislike the video, give it a like. Remember to hit that subscribe button. And if you're not on a notification squad, get on it. Hit the bell. You know where it is. And that's really it. Apps out.